Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. The other day I got a video suggestion from a viewer in which they asked me, hey Matt, I'm having trouble getting these guys, the depth Sakamata Shad. Can you recommend some other minnow style baits that could be a good replacement? And I thought that was a really good video suggestion because honestly, these are extremely difficult to get, especially in the colors that you're after. Uh, and there are a lot of other minnow cell baits that work very well at the same time. So, even myself, I had very difficult time getting it. The reason I'm showing you an 8-inch model is because the only couple bags I have are in the boat right now, and I'm short on them as well. So I'm always looking for some good minnow style replacement baits, and these are some of my favorite. And they're also some of the other touring pros that I talk to on a regular basis, their favorite as well. So I have no doubt that these baits will catch you some fish at the same time. You don't have to have the depth Sakamata Shad. If you can get your hands on them, great. They are pretty pricey as well. So if you can use some of these replacements to catch a few fish, then I feel like I'm doing my job. So let's jump right into this. I don't have any particular order at all. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Catfish Shad Impact. This is a bait that I've talked about quite a bit on this channel. I use it for the hover rig extensively, drop shot bait, jig head minnow, just a killer bait. It's got a lot of tail movement on this thing, looks very, very natural in the water. Comes in a whole bunch of different sizes as well. That's one thing with the depth Sakamata Shad. It comes, I think the Sakamata comes in a 2-inch version all the way up to the big 8-inch version. And the Catfish Shad Impact is along those same lines. A lot of different sizes of this guy. This is the smallmouth magic color. That is one of my absolute staples. So that's one that I really like. This is another one that is a fan favorite of a lot of pros on the market. This is the Crush City, the Rapala Crush City Mooch Minnow. This does only come, I believe, in one size, but it's made out of an elastic style material, so they hold up really well. Has just a tiny little bit of tail kick on it, and this is one that I really do like for a smaller minnow profile. And again, has won a bunch of big national level tournaments, so it catches some fish from that standpoint. Really good one. They were really tough to get. They're getting easier to get these days, so that's the Mooch Minnow. Then we got this guy, the OSP Do Live. This is another one that's a fan favorite of a lot of touring pros. The whole OSP line of baits is kind of like an underground, I don't want to say secret, but kind of an underground bait company that a lot of touring pros use. They have really good both plastics and hard baits. And this is one that a lot of guys are throwing on a jig head minnow. And again, it's another one that, in my opinion, is very versatile. Similar to the Shad Impact in that you can fish it on a drop shot, you can fish it on a hover rig, you can fish it on a jig head minnow. There's really no wrong way to fish these. All of these minnow style baits that I'm talking about today are just absolute fish catchers. Really, really good. And we've got this guy. This is the Raid Fish Roller. This is another one that I would say is definitely a fan favorite when it comes to throwing on a jig head minnow. I would say that this one as well is a very difficult one to get. It's easier at this point to get than the Sakamata Shad. But the fish roller, which also comes in a larger size, the super fish roller, I think is what it's called. Just a really good one. It catches a ton of fish. It's one of my go-tos with the jig head minnow as well. So I love that one. Then we've got the Bass Tricks Hover Tricks. Now this is another really good minnow on a jig head minnow. One of the most lifelike looking minnows in the water, especially if you're keying in on a little bit larger size gizzard shad. It's a 4-inch model. This is one that, again, like most of these, are very, very versatile. Use them on a drop shot, use them on a hover rig, use them on a jig head minnow. There's just a ton of uses, but this is one when you put it in the water, it just looks amazing. So that one I've been using quite a bit lately. And then last but not least, not that this is necessarily along the same styles of just a minnow, but this is one that I use personally quite a bit as a jig head minnow replacement. and that's the power switch. This is the Berkeley power switch. I've caught some really, really big fish on it. They again have it in really small, I think it goes down to 1.5 inches, all the way up to much larger versions than this. I caught my biggest bass last year was on the power switch at Toledo Bend in the Bass Pro Tour. I think it was, I'm gonna say eight, I think 8, 9. If that's a bass, if it's a bass, it's a big one, but I think it's a catfish. Oh, it's a big bass. Yes. Look at that one. Catfish. Look at that one.
Oh, we'll have to get a picture of that. All right.
I can't even get the thing around him. It doesn't fit around his jaw. Come on.
Ooh, get on that red, get on that dot. 8 pounds, 9 ounces.
Okay. Just a monster of a fish. Caught a lot of really big fish on the power switch at that event. What I really like about this is not only does it have good movement in the water, good darting motion side to side, but being that it's pre-rigged, you don't have to have an actual jig head for it. You just buy the power switch, put it on, and you're ready to go in terms of working it a little bit deeper. Just another really good bait to replace, say, the Sakamata Shad for your jig head minnow styles. These are baits that I'm throwing on a regular basis, both not only for the jig head minnow, but also on a lot of other presentation, which is one thing with respect to the Sakamata Shad. To me, that is quite a bit more I'm using that, I would say, for a jig head minnow versus a lot of other presentations. So some of these other ones are cheaper and at the same time a little bit more versatile in my opinion. But if you can get your hands on the Sakamata Shad in the size and the color that you want, you probably should snap them up while you can, because I don't foresee them getting any easier to get. But hopefully some of these replacements will either hold you over until you can find them, or just be a really good replacement at a much better price point for you. So let me know in the comment section, what are some of your favorite minnow style baits that could be a replacement for the Sakamata Shad? I'm sure the viewer who asked the question would be interested to hear from you guys as well. I'll put links for all of these to Tackle Warehouse. So if you want to use my Tackle Warehouse affiliate link to support the channel, that would be fantastic. And stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out tomorrow for you.